well. So you want me to use SSDs, huh? This is the end result of using SSDs for everything. Now, I know how this is going to get clipped, and I know that the peanut gallery is going to be in full force in the comments just by my saying that. So I want to allay some of it by saying, yes, I'm well aware of the fact that hard drives fail, that SSDs are much faster, and a much better option when you're trying to use them for a boot source. But as a data disk and a server, I am still just not sold on the idea. Now, the irony, I don't know where it is right now. Oh, this one. This is all SSD. And this has a whole bunch of 250 gig HyperX SSDs that I know have SandForce controllers on them. It's been rock stable. Of course, I don't trust it, and I keep backups. But I decided to put two SSDs in here, 480s. They're Kingston drives. For data disks, for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is I needed to replace the drive anyway. I figure I've got the 480s sitting around, I'll use them. I've completely lost control of this machine, and I have no idea if I can even shut it down from here. I mean, I probably can. I don't have a mouse. I should probably go get a mouse. The computer's not frozen or anything like that. And I can still do all kinds of things, except this doesn't really work. And I probably, if I could find a way to do it, could shut this thing down normally, but I think I've pretty much lost control of it at this point. So we're going to flick the power switch off. And we'll simply try powering it back up again. But I'm not going to let the virtual machine start right away. Is the disk completely gone? No, the disk is still there. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can take all of these. I'm going to copy them someplace else. See, now it's working just fine. And I bet you any money but if I come in here and look at the data, it's showing up as good. But it's another one of these Kingston A400s that, for whatever reason, I'm pretty sure it's giving me guff. So I'm going to swap it. Alright, well, I guess I better go turn that off before I get decapped by a record label. I finished the transfer, so that's all good. Everything there is transferred. So I'm going to power this off again. Pull it out of its hiding place here and replace the disk. Okay, cover is taken off, and the object of my ire is right here. It's this top drive. The funny thing is I've never had problems with these, which are much older drives. The UV400. It's always been these A400s that have been problematic. And even at that, I've had several of them that I've purchased brand new that are still working just fine. But yet it's these kinds of things, where I put them into a 24/7 use, and they break. I guess they're just not designed for it? I don't know, but really, the health is at 93%. There's no excuse for it to be broken in any way. So I don't know what really happened. All that I can tell you is that it was running fine until about 1 o'clock this afternoon. And I didn't notice that anything had gone wrong until much later. But one of my virtual machines had crashed out with a bunch of errors relating to the disk. And I couldn't end the process. And it was turtles all the way down from there to eventually what you saw on that screen there. Alright, so there's the new drive. 500 gigabyte, and yes, it's a Seagate drive because I am very big into the notion of, well, I'll show you. which probably means it's going to fail very soon. But most of my ire with the SSD is not that they fail, it's that they fail without warning. At least that's what's been my experience, is they go from 100, or in this case, 93, to 0. And then you start having problems. And oftentimes the data is irrecoverable because they just disappear off of the SATA bus and you can't contact or can't connect with them, can't communicate with them anymore. Fortunately, that was not the case with these. I haven't really experienced that with these. Sometimes they will recover to a point where you can recover some of your data, or all of it in this case, but they still don't work quite right. And I, of course, obviously don't trust this anymore, which is another reason why I'm just putting a hard drive in here. And this happens to be the drive that I have sitting around. There's a Western Digital that's sitting in a project box that was over there, but it's only a SATA 3 gigabit per second drive. So I'd rather use the 6 gigabit per second drive so I have faster speeds. Not that it matters for a hard drive, but, you know. Alright. Quick sanity check here.
That was so extremely painful that I didn't want to have it done anymore. And, naturally, if you look at me, you can tell that I'm
Right, still posts.
major demo work done than I possibly want to go through. And that's because they tell me that if they were to do braces, they would have to break my jaw.
Ah, really?
Disconnected from
I know with intrigue that the disc LED is still on solid. I don't know what that's all about. But the disc is here. It's disc number 2. Yes, so it's disc number 2. So I will now wipe that disc. Which is good. I'm going to shut this down because that started running even though I didn't want it to do that. I need to go to the administrative tools, computer management, disk management. We'll initialize it with GPT, new simple volume, assign it that. Give it the old name. Oop. Formatting. And of course now I'll find, yep, we've got reallocated sectors, so yeah, this disk is no good. Of course, after all that. Okay, well, after a false start, I have another drive here. That is good. I'd say the 6 gigabit per second to boot. So I've set all of my volume drive letters, I think, correctly. I have some question about these ones, but I think they're fine. So we'll take these and we'll put them back where they were. Okay, so that's transferred in. I'm going to go ahead and close out of all this stuff. We'll restart the machine. And this time we'll let it start all virtual machines. And hopefully it will do so successfully. I don't know how out of date that startup script is. Alright, so that's back up and running. And everything is good, although I still don't like the fact that that light is on solid. I'm not sure why it is. At some point, even despite what I said, I may want to change this over to all SSDs. But I think I'm going to use new SSDs, or at least not Kingston SSDs for that project. And this should be more than good enough for now anyway. So, Either way, thank you for watching this little impromptu emergency disc replacement video. And if you've got any comments, feel free to leave them below.